Just think for a moment. What if locks didn't exist in this world? Neither your front door would be secure, nor the bank vault, nor your cupboard, nor your precious secrets. Everything would lie open, and anyone could walk away with your hard-earned belongings at any time. Today, we have key locks, combination locks, and even smart locks that open with a fingerprint or a phone. But have you ever wondered who made the very first lock? When was it made? And why did humans even need it in the first place? In this video, we're going to tell you the real and fascinating history of the lock, one you may never have heard before. Watch the whole video because every single detail is going to surprise you. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. So let's go back thousands of years. First, it's important to understand that the lock didn't appear out of nowhere. It was born out of necessity. About 10 to 12,000 years ago, humans began farming. Before that, humans were nomadic, they hunted, wandered from place to place, and had little to protect in the first place. But once humans started growing crops and raising animals, for the first time they began accumulating surplus wealth, stores of grain, livestock, tools, and valuables. And wherever wealth appears, the fear of theft appears with it. Now humans faced a big question. How do I keep my belongings safe when I'm not home? That very question is what eventually gave birth to the lock. Before the lock was invented, people had a few basic methods. The first method was guarding. Wealthy people hired guards to protect their valuables, but not everyone could afford this. The second method was hiding. People would bury their valuables in the ground or hide them inside walls. The third method was complex knots. In ancient times, people tied ropes into knots so intricate they were hard to undo. The famous Gordian Knot is one example of this tradition. If the knot was disturbed, the owner would know someone had tried to tamper with it. But all these methods shared one big weakness. Anyone could untie a knot, and a guard could be tricked. Humans needed something that could only be opened by one specific thing that only they possessed, a key. And this is where the real story begins. Now we come to the most important part. The world's oldest lock was made about 4,000 years ago, roughly around 2000 BC. Its oldest surviving example was found in the ruins of the ancient city of Nineveh, located in modern-day Iraq, near the king's palace at Khorsabad. Similar wooden locks were also used in ancient Egypt. Now the question is, what did this first lock look like? It was made entirely of wood, no iron, no steel. Today it's called a pin tumbler lock, and remarkably, even the modern locks on our homes today work on this same thousands of years old principle. How did it work? Let's break it down simply. A wooden bolt or latch was fitted onto the door. Above this bolt were several holes, and small wooden pins would drop down into these holes from above. Under their own weight, these pins would fall and jam the bolt in place, so it couldn't move. To open it, there was a large wooden key with pegs on it. The key was inserted into the holes and lifted upward, pushing the pins to exactly the right height, freeing the bolt so it could slide open. The door would open. This was a revolutionary idea. For the first time, a system existed that only a key of the correct shape could open. The human mind had created something that would protect the world for thousands of years. Egyptian and Babylonian locks were certainly sturdy, but their biggest problem was that they were made of wood, large, heavy, and easy to break. Then came the Romans, about 2,000 years ago. The Romans brought two major changes to the world of locks. The first change was the use of metal. The Romans began making locks out of iron and bronze, which made them smaller, stronger, and much harder to break. The second change was the ward lock. The Romans built obstacles inside the lock, twists and rings through which only a key of the exact correct shape could pass. If the key's shape was wrong, it simply couldn't turn inside. Here's an interesting detail. Romans wore their keys as rings on their fingers. This had two advantages. The key was always on hand, and it was also seen as a sign of wealth and status. The ward lock was so successful that this design remained in use for roughly the next 1,500 years. But it had one major flaw. Skilled thieves learned how to pick it. A new, better invention was needed. In the 18th century, the Industrial Revolution swept through Europe, and one brilliant lock invention followed another. In 1778, Robert Barron of England invented the lever tumbler lock. In this design, the key had to lift several small levers to exactly the right height before the lock would open. It was far more secure than the old ward lock. In 1784, Joseph Bramah built a lock he declared unbreakable. This story is the most fascinating of all. He was so confident in his invention that he displayed the lock in his shop window and issued a challenge. Whoever could pick it would win 200 guineas, an enormous sum of money at the time. And believe it or not, this lock went unopened for a full 67 years. Finally, in 1851, at London's famous exhibition, an American locksmith named A.C. Hobbs took up the challenge. After roughly 51 hours of work spread across 16 days, he finally picked the lock open. The news spread across the world because it proved that no lock is ever 100% secure. In 1818, Jeremiah Chubb invented something remarkable: the detector lock. Its special feature was that if anyone tried to force it open or used the wrong key, the lock would jam, and the owner would know someone had tampered with it. In 1861, Linus Yale Jr. did something that changed the world of locks forever. This American took that same thousands of years old Egyptian pin tumbler principle and made it small, strong, and modern. He created a cylinder lock that used a small, flat, notched key, exactly the kind still used today on your home doors, locks, and offices. Even today, this design is known worldwide as the Yale lock. As banks grew larger, thieves learned new ways to crack locks open, so another invention followed. In 1873, James Sargent of America built a time lock for bank vaults, one that didn't open with a key but at a preset time on a clock. Now, even if a thief forced the bank manager to cooperate, the vault still couldn't be opened before its set time. Around the same era, combination locks, number locks, also became popular. These needed no key at all, you just needed the right numbers in the right order. And where have we arrived today? Today, we have electronic keypad locks that open with a number code. We have biometric locks that open with your fingerprint or face. And we have smart locks that you can lock or unlock from your phone from anywhere in the world. So the journey that began 4,000 years ago with a simple wooden key has now reached fingerprints and the internet. Friends, this story of the lock isn't just a story of iron and wood. It's a story of human trust, fear, and ingenuity. Every time a lock was built, someone found a way to open it. And every time, humans built a better one. This contest has been going on for thousands of years, and it continues today. Perhaps this is humanity's greatest quality: it never stops. So friends, that was the complete and true history of the lock. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, share it with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, subscribe now so more interesting content like this keeps coming your way. What history would you like to learn about in the next video? Let us know in the comments.